There is so much going on across Canada and across the world, so there's a couple of things that I want to talk to you about today. And I want to start with Mark Carney heading to China next week. What is the significance of that meeting with the Chinese president?
Well, this is the culmination of 6 months of hard work by Carney looking to establish better trading relationships outside of our US-Canada trading relationship, which is, of course, the biggest one we have, but it's fraught right now. Trump has been going after us with tariffs, hurting our economy intentionally. He's also said that the renegotiation of the Canada-US-Mexico trade deal is anything but a done deal in advance. So we have to start doing exactly what Carney's been doing, talking to the Europeans, going to Great Britain, talking to markets, saying we've got a lot of big infrastructure projects coming in Canada, get on board. Talking with Danielle Smith of Alberta, saying, no, we're going to really be able to use our natural resources, but we're going to do it responsibly. We'll put in place programs, for example, for carbon capture and storage, but we're going to work with the world. We're going to start exporting more. We're going to start using those resources to keep our gross national product at the level that it's at, because otherwise we can't do things like have a program where we share wealth across the country, what we call equalization payments. So Carney's been on that since day one. He's understood exactly what he's dealing with in dealing with Trump. The advantage of Mark Carney, of course, is his deep experience on the world stage. When he walks into a room, well, everybody knows him. And he's given a lot of attention every time he speaks. So he's had the time to get into his new job very well. He does travel more than you would normally see a prime minister do, but it's necessary. So going to China, working with the Chinese doesn't mean that we have to agree with everything that China does. That's not the way the world works. It's not the way trade works. And we're going to sit down and we're going to start making the type of deal that will lead to greater exports. You know, we talk about Venezuela. Some people opined over the weekend that Canada was going to suffer because of Trump's invasion of Venezuela. This just in, nothing's been repaired or improved in Venezuela. The Chinese were getting about 2/3 of the oil that came out of Venezuela. They're going to be looking for other sources. And Canada could easily be that source. So there is opportunity there. There's a lot of work that can be done between Canada and China. One of the things I'll be watching, Will, is whether or not we remove the 100% tariffs that we slapped on Chinese electric vehicles to please the Americans. Pleasing the Americans got us precisely nothing, except the fact that we have to pay twice as much for an electric vehicle in Canada. Then neither of them are made here. And why would we continue to please the Americans? Because all that got us was a lot of grief. It got us huge tariffs on Canadian canola and other products. We've hurt our agricultural sector to please the Americans. I think that that's the type of thing that Carney should be correcting in quick order.
Yeah, and and again, the significance of that not meeting with the Chinese president in the last 8 years. So Mark Carney,
Yes.
obviously on top of it. I want to talk quickly before we let you go about Chrystia Freeland, because she's going to be resigning as the MP to become an economic advisor to Ukraine. What do you make of this decision?
It was messy, unnecessarily messy. And Chrystia Freeland has given such sterling service to Canada. She deserves to be thanked for that service. But her time in office ended in a fishtail and her in a ditch. She doggedly decided she was going to be able to stay on, to use her term from her announcement, for weeks. We didn't know how many weeks, but she wanted to stay on for weeks after having been named and accepted to be named an advisor to a foreign country. We went through a very detailed analysis in a commission of inquiry with Madam Justice Hogue. We went through a detailed analysis of foreign involvement in Canadian politics. It was an impossible situation she had put herself in. It's not because she had quit the position that Carney had given her on Ukraine that she could somehow start working for Ukraine and draw her MP's salary and continue accumulating her MP's pension. It just didn't make any sense. So she came to that realization, which is good, a little bit late, and it hurt her. It hurt her image. It hurt the memory of her. And again, she was the deputy prime minister for a number of years. She was the finance minister. She's done a lot for the country. She deserves to be thanked for that. But I don't know, somehow her judgment just failed her on this issue at the end. Everybody, like the Globe and Mail and Elite editorial yesterday was superb. I mean, nobody was trying to go personally at her, but it was like, please look at the facts. You can't keep a job for a foreign country and remain as an MP. Certainly not after what we've been through.
Yeah, I think, Tom, you used a great word, messy, with that whole situation. Yeah. Lots going on across the country. Really appreciate your time. CTV News political analyst Tom Mulcair. Thanks for joining us today.
Good to be with you, Will.